Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
The third practical of FYPSC, optical properties between plane polarized light and cross dipole. So this is our today's practical is there, and in this practical we will see the detail about how you are going to see the minerals light under the microscope. First we'll see the microscope. Can you see now this microscope now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is a microscope you have been already seen
Yes,
in
sir.
in 11th and 12th. You have seen this similar type of microscope, but there will be a slight changes are there, some additions are there in this microscope, and this microscope we called as a petrological microscope. Now, this one you can see now. This is a stand where you can hold the hand, and with the right hand side there will be a vernier scale. Can you see now? Yeah, vernier scale. So these two fingers hold on the lower side and with the thumb, and while you are rotating, this should be, your hand should be far away. Yes, I'm rotating now. This particular part will be exactly 90 degrees. So that there are the two screws are there. One screw will be here, second screw will be on the back hand side. You can see. These two screws should not be touched. If you touch this one, whatever the mineral which is mounted here, it will be off-centered and you are not going to see the mineral properties at a glance. So mineral is off-centered. To make the adjustment, it will go 10 to 15 minutes, and you're in the practical exam, you have just given 5 minutes, so you don't have to touch this one. So whenever you hold, these two with the finger hold properly and rotate, and at the same time you have to see with this particular eyepiece, the whatever the mineral which is mounted on that particular rotating stage. Now first one, here we have a glass. Yes, mirror is there. Convex and concave, both are being kept. So concave we can use, so the ordinary light can incident, and once it is incident, 100% light will be reflected through the optic axis, whatever the what we have the aligned, all the plane polarizer, this polarizer, analyzer, all are aligned in one particular line. So light will pass through, so 100% light will be reflected from that particular micro. So it will be, adjustment is exactly 45 degrees. The second one, there is a screw is there. To adjust that particular, this particular lower side, we have the polarizer and condenser. Here we have, this is a condenser, and the yellow steel part is the, what we have, the polarizer. So condenser and polarizer. So you can make the adjustment of the polarizer condenser with this screw. And the second one, after this one, what is the use of the polarizer? This is the Nicol prism, which is present below the rotating stage. This is the rotating stage. Below that stage, we have a Nicol prism, and that we call as the polarizer. What is the use of that polarizer? When the light is reflected, I'll show you the diagram. Yes, can you see now? This is the optic axis. Now here we have a mirror. Mirror will be adjusted so that the light should be transmitted in this particular optic axis. Now there will be first Nicol prism is here, and this will be called as a polarizer. This is called as polarizer, or it is called as lower prism. Now the light which is coming out from this particular polarizer, now the light which is the ordinary light is there, it is vibrating in all 360 directions. But while the light come out from this particular polarizer, 90% of the light will be vibrating in a single plane. So once the light come out, it will be horizontally transmitted. 90% of the light will be vibrated in one single plane, and that's what is called as plane polarized light. The light will be remain parallel to the horizontal surface. So plane polarized light. So 90% light, but still there is a 10% light is there which is vibrating in the different direction. To minimize that, above this polarizer, immediately we have a condenser. Yes, that is the that part, and this part will be there. That is a condenser. So that condenser, what? It is a filter. The light which is coming out from that, here we have the condenser. Okay, here we have a condenser. Now condenser, what will done? Immediately the condenser will be filtered, and 100% light will be now vibrating in a single plane. So here the light which is vibrating 100% in a plane polarized light, then this light, when you're going to see the properties of the mirror under such condition, then this properties will write as a title, the properties between plane polarized light. Here, now above this we have a rotating stage is there, but between these two, here condenser is immediately, there is no gap in between, but here when we have the rotating stage is here. So when you are going to see now there is a gap is there. So now what is happening? The light which comes from the solid media, and now here we have again air media is there. Light will be having an air media, and now here the slide will be mounted. A thin slide will be mounted, and to take physically, if you want to make a slide of any mineral or a rock, minimum 70 hours will require to make that particular perfection of that particular slide thickness, to see all the properties of that particular mineral. So there the slide has been mounted here, and this particular part is called as the rotating stage, and here we have a clip is there, so that we can fix up your slide and see exactly the middle. And now here there will be enlargement 5x, 10x, 15x, 25 or 45. How much you want to make the enlargement, we have to make that enlargement. And above this, here we have, this is the tube. Now you can raise the tube up and down to make the adjustment, force adjustment. And this is the screw which is there. You can see now. This screw will we can see very clear. This is the fine adjustment. Those who have the IPS is, everyone eyesight is different. So to make that, you can focus it out, clear this, correct this one with this fine adjustment. Force once you are done, no need to make that. Now once you are done, then there is the two stages are there. One, this is here, slot is there, and this is another slot. So one will be there of a button lens, which is there on the top. This is the button lens. In and out is written here. Similar on the lower side. This is the analyzer is in and analyzer is out. Whenever you want to shift them, just hold this tube with the hand and these two and thumb. Hold the thumb tube and just press it out. So this is the way. No need to shift it out. If it is just shift this particular microscope left or right, what's happening? Whatever the maximum light we have made a path, it will cut out and you are not going to see the middle properly. So hold it properly and with the thumb, just press. So this is the way you have to insert. Now, button lens we are not using in the FY as well as in SY. It is only in the TY. But now as per the syllabus has changed, it has come to the SYBSc. But FIBSc, we just use the button lens. That is, the button lenses are nothing but it is the second prism which is present above the polarizer. Here we have above this rotating stage. Here we have again a Nicol prism, and this prism is called as upper prism, or it is called as analyzer. Why it is called as analyzer, or sometimes we call it is a cross Nicol. It is simply called as a cross Nicol, property between cross Nicol. Now what is happening? The shortest axis of the polarizer. This is the two axes. One is ordinary ray and extraordinary ray. The shortest axis of the polarizer here and the shortest axis of the analyzer, they are crossed. Once you insert the analyzer, they are crossed, and when you study the properties in this particular condition, then whenever you have been inserted the analyzer, then that property is another 7 properties we are going to see here. These are being titled as properties between analyzer or properties between cross Nicol. So here we have 7 properties in polarizer at that time. Analyzer is out. We have to see all the properties. Once you have seen these 7 properties, insert the analyzer, then you will see another 7 properties. Total there are the 14 properties are there about this middle. You have to see under the microscope. Now once everything has been focused, this eyepiece is there. So all this will be perfect. So nothing has to be done. Only the care has to be taken that when you are going to rotate. When you rotate the stage, these two fingers, you have to fix up your vernier scale, and with the thumb, while rotating, your arm should be straight, so that these two screws should not be touched. Once you have taken this precaution, Nothing will be happen, and you are going to see the properties under the polarizer or analyzer. I think this is clear. Is anybody is there? Can all give me the, you understood the various parts of the microscope?
Sir, polarizer.
Polarizer is a Nicol prism. Analyzer is also Nicol prism. It is present above it is analyzer. Whether it is present on the lower side is called as a polarizer. Why is it a polarizer? When the light is coming out, the ordinary light, when it is coming, entering the polarizer and coming out from the analyzer, at that time, the light will be vibrating 90% in a single plane. In a single horizontal plane, it has been vibrating. Assume now this plane will be vibrating. So it will be a plane polarized light. That's why it is called as, and that's why it is called as polarizer. Where the light will be vibrating in a single plane. While the ordinary light, which is radiating in all 360 directions, once it enters into the polarizer, 90% of the light is vibrating in plane polarizer, in a single plane, parallel to the horizontal surface. Now here we have the horizontal surface parallel to this. The light will be vibrating in this particular plane. Then it is called as plane polarized light. But 10% light is there which is vibrating in a different direction. So above that we have a condenser. And this condenser is used to filter the light which is vibrating in the just 10% in the other direction. Once the light comes out from the condenser, 100% light will be vibrating in a single plane. And then when you study the properties under this condition, then it is called as properties between plane polarized light. Clear? Reshma?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else?
Sir, condenser.
Condenser is used to filter. Light will be filtered. So here condenser used as a filter. So due to that filter, whatever the light which is vibrating, 10% light vibrating in different direction, it is cut out. And so that after this filter, what is happening? The light will be just come out. It is 100% vibrating in a single plane. So that is the use of the condenser. Clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we'll go for the properties now. So on this practical, I have already made the two videos, the properties between plane polarized light, and the second video is the properties between cross Nicol. The very, very basic practical is there. So after this, you are going to study the individual minerals like a quartz, orthoclase, plagioclase, then muscovite, biotite, garnet. So these are the mineral hornblende you are going to study. So if you don't know the properties, to understand these particular properties, how you are going to study them, then it is become difficult. I hope this is clear. Now we'll start the first part, properties between the plane polarized light. And this video also I am going to upload now after editing whatever the things I will cut down, so that we can have the practice. So first one, the property where we are going to study, properties between plane polarized, properties between plane polarized light. If you want the title complete, properties between plane polarized light, or it is short form, it is given as PPL. Remember, the short form is the PPL, properties between plane polarized light. Yes, the first property, as usual, as you have seen in the hand specimen also, the property is color. Now under the microscope, can you see now? Whatever I am writing now, it is properly coming to you, because I am here, I am going to make a reverse now. Is anybody tell me now, can you see the whatever I written on the board, it is correct or it is reverse?
Yes, sir.
Sir, it is correct.
Correct, no? Yeah. The first property which you are going to study under the plane polarized light is simple color. As usual, in plane polarized light also you have in the megascopic physical properties of the mineral, we have seen the first property is the color. So the color will be divided into two categories. One is colored one, minerals are colored one, and second one is mineral is colorless. So whatever the light incident on from the lower side from the mirror and the light is coming from the polarizer, whatever the mineral you are going to see, this mineral we are divided into two categories. One will be colorless, we can't see the mineral. Second one, we will see the colored mineral, like a green, pink, yellow, brown, or there will be shades of green, shades of yellow, shades of brown. So these minerals when we are going to see, whatever the color is there, light green, light yellow, dark brown, or it will be colorless. So simple, there is no definition. Already we have seen the definition in what we have the physical properties. That is, whatever the light which is incident on that particular mirror, it will be reflected back, and once the light will be incident on the slide, there will be two phenomena. Yes, reflection and absorption. Whatever the light is absorbed and whatever the light is reflected, so depending upon the reflection, which rays are reflected, that mineral will be appear as that color. Say example, black color, all light will be absorbed, none of the rays will be reflected back. Pink color, only pink rays will be reflected back. So that mineral will be appear as a pink one. Green one, light green or dark green, only the light green or a dark green rays are reflected, and so that mineral appear as light green, dark green, or light yellow, dark yellow, brown. So these are the shades. So simple, we have colored and colorless. Any doubt is there about this one property?
No, sir.
Next one is the relief. Like what we have in a megascopic, we have the streak is there. Similar one, here we have the relief. What is the relief? Relief is nothing but the edges, whatever the appearance of the mineral in the reflected light. Yes, how you are going to appear, the outline of the mineral, how you are going to see that relief. On the basis of that, we have the three types of relief. One we call as low relief. Second one we have moderate relief. And third one we have high relief. See the difference now. I'll show you the draw the diagram. Yes, you can see the middle which I have drawn, it is six-sided. Yes, it is a polygonal shape. But now the second one I am going to draw the middle. Now see the difference. The outline is very thick, but it is a very thin. But now this is a moderate one, this is a high one. I can see. You can't see the mineral outline, whatever the shape of the mineral is, that we could not recognize. Then this is called as low relief. That is depending upon the edge, how is the prominent outline of that particular mineral is there. It is depending upon the refractive index of the mineral. If it is very prominent, it is called as high relief. Then it is the just will distinguish the mineral from the surroundings. Say there is a 10 minerals are there, but whichever the mineral we are going to focus below the crosswire, if this mineral is there, now we can easily distinguish. Then it is a moderate one. But we could not distinguish the mineral because outline is not clearly we can recognize in plain polarized light. Then it is called as low. So low, moderate, and high, or it is called as medium also. High, moderate, or medium, and this is a low. Clear now? Can you easily recognize now, distinguish? Yes? Yes. Now the next one. The next one is again, we have forms. In the megascopic also, you have seen the form. So here also you will have form. Now the basic forms what we have, whatever the shape of the mineral is there, on this basis we have three important shapes. First one, euhydral shape. Second one, subhydral shape. Third one, anhydral shape. See, U, sub, un. Hydro means faces. When the mineral having all edges, all faces are present, then it is called as euhydral. When only half faces are present, it is called as subhydral. If none of the face having a straight line, then it is the unheaded. For example, I'm going to draw the diagram. If you want, you can have the notes also. Notes are also uploaded now on this classroom, Google Classroom. This is 6 side. You can see very prominent one. This is the 8 side, very clear now. If you want. Yes. This is the 6 sides are there. Edges are straight. In this, there are the 8 edges are there. And these two will be called as U-angles. And depending upon the edges, how many edges are there? Instead of calling U-angle, directly we call is a pet name. That is, it is 6 sides. It is 8 sides. But both are nothing but they are the U-angle crystals. But now sub-angle. When in that sub-angle, can you see now this side? Yeah. Okay. This material we are going to show you under the microscope. That is the biotype. You can see now what is happening. Only the sides, 2 sides are present, and the third one is also it may be irregular. So only the half faces are present. It is called as subangle. And in that, whatever if you compare length versus width, the length if you compare the width is this is the width. If you measure here, what happens? The length will be a little bit bigger than what we have the width. Then this particular shape is called as flaky, or it is called as flaky. Flaky or flaky. Biotype and muscovite. They will show you flaky or flaky shape. Now see another one. Now the width is reduced. Length is increased. So this one will be called as lat shape. See now, how much is the width and now how much is the width? Width is reduced, but length is increased, height is increased. Then instead of calling flaky here, we call it as a lat shape. And this is the third variety here, one more. Still width is reduced. Or might be, I'll draw here again. Yes, you can see this one or this one. These two are width is less, length is more, then it is called as elongated. So all these three they are categorized as subangle. So in that subangle, only half faces, only the side faces are present, up and lower they are not there. Then if the width, the length will be little bit more than the width, then it is called as flaky or flaky. Width is reduced, length is increased, it is a lat shape, still it is reduced, width is reduced, length is increased, then it is called as elongated. So there will be, in the case of subangle, we have 3 forms. One is flaky or flaky. Second one we have lat shape, and the third one we have a elongated form. Clear now? Any doubt is there up till now? U-angle, subangle. U-angle we have 6 side and 8 side. Both are U-angle. Whereas in case of subangle, we have flaky or flaky, elongated. This is the flaky form of lat shape, and these two are the elongated one. Then the next one now, unangled. Unangled, I'll rub the some of the part now. Here what I have written. Come to the unangled now. Yes. None of the edge outline is having a straight. It is a zigzag, irregular. So the first one, it is an irregular. So first form is called as irregular. No edge, straight edge is not there. So irregular. Second one, more or less rounded in nature. So it is called as rounded. So here we are in this third category where we have unangled form. In this unnatural form, we have the first one irregular and second one is rounded. Whereas in euhedral, we have 6 side and 8 side. Whereas in case of subhedral, we have flaky or flaky form, latch shape and elongated form. Whereas in unhedral, we have irregular and rounded. You can zigzag, you can get. This is the best example and this is the one of the typical property of garnet. And this is the rounded is the property of quartz. So with this one property, we can easily recognize the latch shape, which is there. We are plagioclase will identify. If the platyform is there, we can identify biotite or muscovite. Again, there will be one more property whether colorless is there or brown, dark brown is there or yellow color. On the basis of that, we will have the differentiate between the muscovite and biotite. So these are the important properties. There, the forms are 3 categories: euhedral, subhedral, unhedral. You means all edges are present, straight line. Whether it may be 6 side or it may be 8 side. Then the second one is subhedral, where only the half faces are present, where flaky form, latch shape and elongated one. And in the unhedral, we have irregular and rounded. Come to the next one, the property number 4, cleavage. It is a plane of thicknesses along which the middle can be split smooth on the both the sides. So it may be 1 set, it may be 2 set, or it may be 3 sets. So here the 1 set middle, like what we have seen, the flaky middle or flaky middles. In this we have a straight parallel lines are there. So this is a set, 1 set. Then there is a second set. Whether it may be hornblende, 1 set, and this is another set. So 2 sets of cleavages. There is augite also and the hornblende. Hornblende shows 40 degree will be the angle made between the 2 cleavages. When you are taking the angle of extinction, that will see. But the cleavages making angle 120 degree. Then there is a augite is also showing 2 sets of cleavages. Then there is a 3 sets of cleavages, but under the microscope, 1 cleavage will become parallel to the horizontal section, to the section. So there will be going to see only 2 sets. And due to this change in the relief of that particular middle, we are going to have calcite, which shows you 3 sets of cleavages. Due to RI change, we are going to have one more property which will be shown by calcite. That is the twinkling. So 1 set, 2 set, or cleavage will be absent. 3 set we could not see in microscope. Next one, number 5, cracks. Irregular line, yes. Whatever the broken surface shows irregular. Whatever the irregular line is there and which intersect each other is called as cracks. And the cracks are 3 types. Cracks are of 3 types. I'll show you here itself. The first part where the middle is irregular shape, irregular form. Now here the cracks are there. They are intersected each other. Any direction. This is what we have the crack. Then it is called as irregular cracks. And this is the distinctive property of a middle olivine or the garnet, irregular crack. Sorry, not a olivine, it is the garnet which shows you irregular cracks. And olivine shows is a polygonal. From the center, the crack will be radiating in the all these directions. So it is called as the polygonal cracks, or it is simply called as radiating cracks. Polygonal or radiating cracks, and they will be shown by the olivine. This is the best example. Irregular cracks will be shown by the garnet middle. And the third one, perpendicular to the length of the middle. This is the length of the middle. perpendicular to this, there is a transverse cracks. And this is the best example you are going to see in the tourmaline. But we are not showing you the tourmaline, but the tourmaline is there. But for this crack, we are showing you the tourmaline slide. So it is the transverse cracks. So here we have three cracks. One is irregular cracks cutting each other. Second one is radiating from the center. We are radiating in all directions. And third one, perpendicular to length, we have the crack. It is called as a transverse cracks. So three cracks. We have the first one, irregular crack, polygonal or radiating cracks, or transverse cracks. Number 6 property. Twinkling property. Like a twinkling like a star. When you rotate the stage of the middle throughout the 360 degrees, when like a rainbow color bands, when you see in the rainy days, there is a rainbow is there in the sky. Similar rainbow colors you are going to see under the microscope. Then these are the bands are there, and these bands will be a rainbow color bands. As you rotate the stage, they will disappear. As rotate, they will reappear. So disappear, appear, like a twinkling like a star, and it is only shown by the calcite. The middle calcite will be recognized by this property like a twinkling. And if we have the PPT, I'll show you the in that PPT the colored one how they are there. Can you see that particular property in that? So the twinkling is the number 6 property. Then the number 7 property. And right here, so that you can see now very clear. Pleochroism. Yes, this last property in this particular polarizer is the pleochroism. When you rotate the stage, the colorless mirror, remember, the colorless mirror when you rotate through 360 degrees, there is no change in its color or intensity. It is remain colorless. Then these mirrors are called as a non-pleochroic mirrors. Non-pleochroic mirrors will not show any change in the color or intensity, whether light to dark. That will be the intensity will be changed, or color will change from yellow to green, yellow to pink. Such thing is there, then we called as the pleochroic mirror. But once the colorless mirrors, they are the non-pleochroic mirrors. They will not show any change. But the color one, like a green, yellow, these mirrors when you start rotating, they will show you change in the color. They might be show you light green to dark green, light yellow to dark yellow. And there is a one mirror is there which shows you from green to pink, light green to light pink. So from one color, the color will be changed into the another one. So based on that, those colored mirrors show the changes in their color. These mirrors are called as pleochroic mirrors, and the property is called as pleochroism. And in that, those colored mirrors which are shown, these changes based upon the quantity and quality, we call two pleochroisms. First one, it is called as quantitative pleochroism. Quantitative pleochroism. And second one is qualitative pleochroism. What is the quantity? Means light green to dark green, light yellow to dark yellow. Within one color, there is a shades of green, shades of yellow. Such type of change you are going to see in colored mirror. And then these colored mirrors are the pleochroism is called as a quantitative pleochroism. But in case there is a change is there from one color into another color, light green to light pink, yellow to brown color, yellow to green color, such any change will be there, then these are called as qualitative. Color, one from one color, they will change the color into the other one. So qualitative. And quantitative, light green to dark green, light yellow to dark yellow, light brown to dark brown. Such change is there, then it is called as quantitative pleochroism. And if one color to another, it is called as qualitative pleochroism. Clear? So these are the 7 properties you are going to see in plane polarized light. As soon as you go to under the microscope, analyzer is always in. Only see, you have to see that the analyzer is in or out. Sometimes the students are doing misuse things. So you have to check while going to that observation, analyzer should be out. So you have to see one by one. Sometimes now whatever we have, cleavage is not there. We have to make present or present, then one set, two set. If it's absent, write down absent. Crack, present, you have to write down present. Which crack? Transport crack, radial crack, or we have irregular cracks. Twinkling, present, only calcite. Rest one, we have to write absent. And pleochroism, you have to write down whether it is non-pleochroic. Pleochroic, if it is pleochroic is there, then you have to mention light green to dark green, light brown, whatever the change is there, whether it is quantitative or qualitative, you have to mention about that. So these are the 7 observations of the mineral under the microscope. If you have any doubt is there about these 7 properties, let me know so that we can again revise and then we'll go for the next 7 properties.
Sir,
Yes?
non-pleochroic.
Non-pleochroic, those colorless mineral, yes, all colorless means they don't show any color under the polarizer, and if you rotate them, you are not going to see any color, means colorless to green, colorless to yellow, such color is not there. So within that, it is white, it is remain white, no change. So that white means it is colorless. So colorless mineral not show any change, then these minerals are called as non-pleochroic. Similarly, there is a one color mineral is there, like a garnet. You have been having the practical. It shows light pink color. But if you rotate that mineral throughout the 360, the color will remain as a light pink. There is no change in its quantity. Light to dark pink is not happen. It is light. It is remain light pink. Then that mineral also called as a non-pleochroic. So there is colorless minerals are non-pleochroic. And there is an exception is there for the FIBSC. We are taking as a garnet as a non-pleochroic. It is a having color one, light pink color, but once you rotate through 360 in polarized light, the color of that mineral is remain same, then that property is called as non-pleochroic mineral. Clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now we'll see. Can we show you the, if I have PPT with me about these properties. Yes. Can you see now the PPT now?